Hello everybody, the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, dawn, and our wonderful protagonist on this earth of the Magdala project, Father Juan Solana, had a great idea, one of many great ideas he has it's a very simple thing, a small thing. You could do it yourself, just to mark where the sun rises. And it's a little bit of a problem because there's a lot of cloud on the horizon. So I'm just trying to figure this out here. The sun has already risen for sure. And here we have a marker from the winter solstice. And this cover for, I think it's electrical here, I'm not sure. And then here we have the line where the sun was on the 21st of December at 6:47 a.m. And now it's 5:35 probably, although officially it's 5:30 for the sunrise, but by the time it shows over here it's 5 to 10 minutes later. So this line went in this direction here, just south of Hippos. By the way, so you hear the noise there, it's just a load of sand being dropped off for the stonework. We can check that out in a moment. So here we have this marker for the winter solstice at 6:47, and now it's I would say 5:35 plus the hour of change of time. So approximately 2 hours difference, a little over 2 hours difference. And then I'm trying to figure out the line exactly of it's probably actually where that tall tree is, because, or maybe just slightly north of it. The two tall trees, right? So the one that's further from us, and it's just slightly north of there. So we need to get a marker to do this. Here, I won't do the writing on it now, but a little later. It's probably here. Well, we'll do that later. We need to get the felt pen. But now we have figured it out a little bit. So we're here in Magdala this morning, and I did a huge omission yesterday. Huge omission. I completely forgot about Father's Day. And you all reminded me, but I didn't notice the comments coming in. And so it's not that I didn't see it or I didn't want to, it's just I didn't see it. So here we are. There's somebody walking along there in the reflection. Oh, there's the sun. Well, I'm going to go back and just check that again about the marker. Let me go back there just to check this, if the marker is good. Here we have Father Donald praying, our new team member here. So here we have this marker for the winter solstice on the right, and wow, it's probably over to here. Okay, well, we'll keep our eye on it the next couple of days just for corrections as well. So we were just putting in a marker there for the summer solstice point where the sun is visible here at dawn. Interesting how the cosmos works in such regularity. When things work with very great regularity, there's planning behind it. And the planning on these dimensions is just another level. And it's not just one thing, one physical thing, it's a billion things that are planned together. Absolutely amazing. So there's nice progress here on this stonework. The guys doing it wanted me to get him on camera, but I'll be finished before he arrives, long finished. So there's a nice piece done already. Thank you for all the names you've suggested. You can keep suggesting names. This is an events plaza here for different events. We're at the lake shore, the seaside, and this is about 700 square meters, so quite a sizable group could come. Sometimes we have groups of 300 or 400, 500 people here, pilgrimage. Sometimes even there was one agent here recently from San Francisco area, great friend of Magdala. Sometimes he brings groups of 500 to 1,000 people. So if they want to have a celebration, we need to make room for them to do something beautiful here at the Sea of Galilee. So we hope to have this ready as things pick up again, God willing. And so now we're in the next stage of this. It's interesting to see how the work happens here, all the machinery, all the people involved with doing some project like this. So we had this surface here all hardened up, right? And this already has like 3 layers underneath it, plus a leavening and a hardening before that. And we could forget about the work those guys did, but they did it. And it's essential, laying the foundations. And here we have this piece that's done already. Would you like to walk on it? We do it gently, okay? Because it's not totally finished yet. They're going to put sand here and then vibrate it with the machine to level it off. And then they're going to use a machine to polish, like not polish, but to take out all the rough edges and leave it very well finished. That's the plan. So a lot of people have been involved in this already. That's what one thing that amazes me is a simple thing like just a floor, because this won't have a roof on it or pillars or anything. A simple thing has so much layers of foundation. And it's interesting, today in Genesis we're going back to the foundations. We're turning books again, not just pages in the scripture today. So we're kind of rolling back the clock to Abraham and the call of Abraham. Fascinating. Abraham, our father in faith. Isn't that wonderful, just after celebrating Father's Day yesterday? To be celebrating Abraham, our father in faith, because there are many aspects to fatherhood. There's the biological fatherhood, through which we all exist. Every human being, with the exception of Jesus, who didn't have a biological father, but he had a great father in Joseph, foster father. How many foster fathers? Because sometimes fathers have died tragically, died young, died in wars, died in earthquakes, and died at work, died in traffic. And then we have missing fathers. How many types of great people have been good fathers? Neighbors, uncles, cousins, big brother. Sometimes it's the role of father. All the support a human being needs from childhood. Father's Day is so important to remember that. And I forgot it yesterday. I wasn't. Well, when I was a child, Father's Day was not a big a big deal. Not even Mother's Day, I don't remember it. I think these are more recent celebrations. But to be thankful and to pray for all those who have been fathers in our lives. And Abraham is a father in our life. And we're going back to the very roots of this. And all the layers we have here, there are layers in our history, layers of fatherhood, layers of foundations in our faith, in the story of the faith and the history of the faith. The story is like the telling of what happened, and the history is, the factual, what happened. And sometimes the storytelling and the story and the history might have divergence, and then that's why there are a lot of researchers to seeing if the story we're telling is matching the history. Yesterday, some of you probably saw the video I also posted on YouTube of the visit to Caesarea. And you had the story of Pilate, had amazing confirmation, because we have the story of Pilate in the Gospels. But some people put it into doubt. And then this famous stone was discovered, which was actually turned upside down on the steps of the stairway in the Byzantine period edition of the Roman amphitheater. And people understand that this was done in a way to walk on Pilate. It's kind of a human reaction, to people who did something that everybody's ashamed of and regrets that he condemned. He handed over Jesus to be crucified. But the very fact that it was hidden was probably a good thing, because then nobody noticed for a long time. And then we had many academics in the early 20th century saying that, there was nobody, it's Pilate. Pilate's an invention. He's not a historical deal at all. He's in the story, but he's not in the history. And then this stone is turned up from the earliest centuries with his name and inscription on it for a dedication of a building to Tiberius, So then you realize, wow, the story is confirmed as history. It did happen. He was there. That's him. So Abraham is one of these kind of guys. He's an extraordinary figure that's not easy to reach. Somebody left their gloves here. They must be from the workers. Here, let me put them up here so they can see them when they come back. So Abraham is an amazing character. I think we should go back and just look here at the text. The Lord said to Abram, not Abraham, Abram, go forth from the land of your kinsfolk. Go forth from the land of your kinsfolk. Go forth. Go forth. Go forth from the land of your kinsfolk, and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation. And I will bless you. I will make your name great. And there's actually a physical part of that. I just stepped over this piece here, not realizing it was so deep. And that's what dads do. They take care of their little kids and show them how to step and how to walk. So many things. Thank you all for your beautiful comments about fatherhood and yesterday, and the different reactions and comments and your prayers. Really appreciate that. And I will bless you. I will make your name great so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. I will make your name great. So his name was actually made greater physically. Abraham. Abraham, Abraham. But that's not the greatness of our name. Our name has another type of greatness. The greatness God gives it. And we're written in the palm of his hand. We're written in his heart. Even Jesus would teach the disciples here at Galilee, your name is written in heaven. Your name is written in heaven. You are precious to the Lord. You are his. We're cleaning up all this area here, so just give you a little bit more overview here. So this, you couldn't walk here a few days ago, but now it's been cleared up. There's so many things need to be done, but little by little, you know. I will make your name great so that you will be a blessing. And each of you are blessings. You are called to be blessings. You are chosen to be blessings. The blessing of father is for children. And when a father goes missing or has a major problem, breakdown, and somebody else is there as father, helping, supporting. I will make so that you will be a blessing. You will be a blessing. Isn't that amazing? Abraham, our father in the faith, but you also. You are a blessing in your family, to your neighbors. Imagine in the apartment building where you live, to be a blessing in the neighborhood where you live. Or just at the supermarket counter going out paying, and you could be a blessing to the poor person there. Maybe they have a headache, maybe they were treated roughly by the boss. Maybe some other customers were in just before you and were very filled with complaint and bitterness. And you could be a blessing for that person. In the traffic, to be a blessing for the others in traffic. To have a smile when somebody comes towards you and not a face that's like saying, where are you coming from? What do you want? To be a blessing. So that people will also bless God and say, thank God I met that person today. That person changed my life. To be a blessing. See, these are very foundational aspects of life. So beautiful. There are new springtimes, you know, new growth, new shoots. And sometimes life can be very rocky and very arid, swampy, difficult. I will bless those who bless you. All the communities of the earth shall find blessing in you. I really encourage you to read the text. The scripture is so powerful. It's so filled with life. And all the people who have been transformed and all the persons who have been transformed throughout history. Look what little children did yesterday. I'm sure their hand was there because this wouldn't be organized like this by the water or by the tractor going through. You can see like the shape of a heart. And there were more over here. And most of these things are passing because give this another week and there won't be any of this there. But Abraham is still here in history. What he did in history is still here. His fatherhood. And the same for you, because you're shaping people. You're not just painting a room or painting a piece of paper, and sometimes that remains for a long time as well. Like Daniel Cariola's work downstairs, it's copied all over the world. The fatherhood of an artist. And then artists are well known, Michelangelo, Leonardo, you know, the big ones. But there are lots of smaller ones that aren't well known, and yet they were a huge blessing at their moment. Even that little heart here for us this morning on the sand is a blessing at this moment for us. I can imagine here a dad with a little daughter and son. And it goes on further, all the communities of the earth shall find blessing in you. Who knows how many blessings and what a blessing a person could be in hospital praying for the doctors, praying for healing. And those who pray for healing for a broken world. Maybe there's some little old lady with a broken leg that never got properly cured in the mountains in Peru. And she's so united with God in her prayer. And she's a blessing for the whole world. She's a fountain of prayer. She's a sunrise in the world. I'm sure there's some of those kind of people in families of the drug lords, of the human traffickers, in the prisons. Also in the morgues. The morgue is a tough place. I remember one of my most powerful morgue visits was after 9/11 in New York. The role of being there when there's bereavement. There isn't a circumstance in life when we cannot be a blessing. There's not a circumstance in life. Abraham went as the Lord directed him, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he left Haran. 75 people! I think maybe there's a couple of people on the watch here that are 75, and a lot of 75-year-olds say their life's over. You know, what are they going to do in the world anymore? They aren't even powerful consumers anymore. Maybe they need extra medical care. 75 years old, and he's our father in faith of the whole of all monotheistic faith. Come on, people. You're never too old. Your greatest hour can be maybe the hour before you die. The prayer, the love for God that's in that heart that's blossoming, that's blooming, that's faithful, that's surviving great trials, moments of pain and difficulty, moments of suffering. 75 years of age. People, we're going to drop it here. Our time is up, but we'll catch up. By the way, it seems some of you haven't noticed that we changed the schedule for Mass because of our vacation schedule this week. So I'm celebrating Mass at 7:15 in the morning. Sometimes there's a couple of minutes delay because of technicalities. But that's the idea. And it's obviously recorded so you can participate later. And some people raised a question about this yesterday. And here we are. So people will just say goodbye right now. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you all, the Magdalene family. See you later, alligators.